Back at the summit for the final optional rotation. Hope Spivey up. This is her second vault. She scored 9.75 on the first.
A beautiful round-off back handspring layout with a full twist. This apparatus, the vault, is one of Hope's stronger events. She doesn't really do a huge vault, but she does a good vault.
Spivey started today tied with Phoebe Mills for first place, fell to fourth after the bars and beam, but that floor score of 9.8 pushed her back up to third, and now we await the vault judging. What do you think, Mary Lou?
I think she's going to score well on this. Her second vault was better than her first. But that big hop, the judges are going to take at least 1 to 2 tenths because it really was a pretty big one.
9.80, so she does improve on the second vault. Hope Spivey currently in third place.
We'll see it. Great.
Christy Phillips started in 10th place after the compulsories, and this her final rotation in the optional. She is in 10th place. The beam, of course, one of the events where she has a special move.
Watch this mount. She's going to put her feet in between her hands. Such flexibility. She's got an incredible back. Starts out with a round-off layout. Solid. This is Christy's event. She is a performer on balance beam. She moves with such ease. Back straddle down. Nice pose, again showing more flexibility. One of her best features. Now watch this move. She does a planche. And then the move, which is called the Phillips.
Anatomically impossible, I would say.
Although in the move, she really didn't perform it as well as she used to. Before, her head almost touched her bottom. In fact, in some cases, it did. So you can see she's lost a little bit of that flexibility in her back. She's getting ready for her dismount. Round off back handspring, double pike. Stop landing.
Well, she's finished with a flourish, Christy Phillips.
Golly, that was great. That was great.
Now, when you consider she left for the West Coast, she admits that she wasn't conditioning herself as she should. She gained a lot of weight, came back to Karolyi. They've really had her on a heavy diet as we watch her again, that flexibility move.
Look at that mount. Her back is like a complete O. Hands on the beam and feet on the beam at the same time.
And this is the Phillips.
Certainly is. You can see that she has lost flexibility. Her bottom was a lot closer to her head last year. So she has lost quite a bit of her flexibility in her back.
Take points off just because she can still do something that maybe a lot of others can't. Her score is being posted now. She waits anxiously. And apparently the audience doesn't like the score. You hear the first time a reaction, a negative reaction. 9.80 for Christy Phillips in the beam. One judge gave her a perfect 10. But 9.80 the score for Christy Phillips. Well, Marta and Bella Karolyi not happy. They wanted more than the 9.80. We'll be back with more after this.
You've done a good job. You've done it.
Here's the 14-year-old Shelley Stack. She'll turn 15 at the end of this month of July. She is currently A surprising fourth.
Nice inverted planche. If Shelley makes this beam herself, and her coach Marta Caroli will be happy. This is one of Shelley's weaker events. She's had a lot of trouble with consistency on balance beam. It's just because she's young and she doesn't have her focus and her concentration all together.
One of the youngest in the competition.
So back handspring, layout. You can see there's a little form break in her layout, but she nailed it. Little front handspring. Gainer back layout. Bent legs a little bit. She's still a little young and hasn't really developed the perfect form yet. Getting to the end of the balance beam for her dismount. A very high round off double back somersault.
And look at that face. What a great smile. Shelley Stack. One of the many. Bella Caroli. His team has done brilliantly here in these championships.
You can see the bent legs in the back handspring layout step out. And that's something that Shelley's going to definitely have to work on for Olympic trials and going into the Olympics if she is on the team.
Phoebe Mills on the floor.
Starting out with this nice high pike forward back somersault. Phoebe has really opened up her personality on floor. She smiles a lot. She's more open, and that's what the crowd likes. To get involved, to clap. That's something Phoebe has had to work on. She's a very closed person. She kind of loses her focus if she kind of lets it out a little too much.
Yeah, this is totally effervescent thus far.
Second pass. Round off with back. Catching double pike somersault. All Phoebe has left is her dismount, which should be ending with the double pike somersault. To the corner, here she goes. Beautiful ending.
They're on their feet here at the summit, recognizing the young woman who has just clinched the U.S. Gymnastics Championship. All around. Phoebe Mills.
It is a new champion. Good number. You kan bli for å bli glad likevel.
So here are the final results. The compulsories and optionals added, and Phoebe Mills, clearly the champion of the United States at age 15. Kelly Garrison Steves, 2/100ths of a point ahead of Hope Spivey. Shelley Stack blossoms, the 14-year-old, finishes fourth out of nowhere. Stacy Gunthorpe is fifth. Rhonda Fain, sixth in the tie with Randy Johnson. Another youngster on the rise. Do Yamashiro, eighth. Christy Phillips, last year's champion, is ninth. So we've crowned the 1988 U.S. Gymnastics all-around champions. Now let's put it in the Olympic perspective, Mary Lou. What does this mean going to Seoul?
I think that things are looking very good for us. We have a new U.S. champion, Phoebe Mills, a well-deserved #1 spot for Phoebe. I really think the key to all of this is that we have some newcomers into the scene. Brandy Johnson, she had a few falls this competition, but managed to stay in 6th place. And a surprising little Shelly Sack. I think she surprised everyone in this competition. Watch for her.
And for the men, Bart, Dan Hayden, solid as a rock.
Yeah, Dan is so consistent, and I think when he's teamed up with Scott Johnson, who will be healthy for Seoul, I think that duo will really provide a lot of leadership for the U.S. team.
And the other 4 pieces in the pie?
Well, you can never count out Tim Daggett. He's surprised all of us here, and I think we are all impressed by how much he can handle, and he's coming back from that injury very well. We have a couple of youngsters. Lance Rignall looks very good. But I think the world gymnastics community will be very impressed with the improvement of the U.S. team that took 9th in the last 2 world championships.
So as we say goodbye from the summit in Houston, Texas, we say so with some unfinished business. Bella Caroli, the top female gymnastic coach and program in the United States, and yet he's not going to Seoul. It's a reminder that in the sport of gymnastics that some of the egos still rank a perfect 10. And unfinished also the business for our champions, Dan Hayden and Phoebe Mills. For while they celebrate U.S. #1, it's still the Olympics ahead, and 60% of their score will be decided a month from now in Salt Lake City. And we're also left, as we say goodbye, with memories and visions of a man who personifies the Olympic spirit. Tim Daggett reminding us all that the victory is in the challenge, the fight, not the final result.
This road was so long and winding. It was such a hard road, but we couldn't stop once we had started. We were always getting closer. Suddenly it happened. Suddenly it happened. Suddenly, a chance in a lifetime. Chance in a lifetime. Now we're gonna take it. We can make it. When you put your heart in it, it can take you anywhere. Who's to say that we can't make it? It's the same dream that we share. Keep on believing. Keep on believing. Keep on believing. When you put your heart in it, when you put your heart, it can take you anywhere. Who's to say that can't make it? It's the same dream that we share. When you put your heart in it, it can take you anywhere.
We now begin our 3.5-minute warm-up period.
This has been NBC's Sports World, and today it was brought to you by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste. By Tandy Computers, because there is no better value, only at Radio Shack. By Minolta Cameras and the new Maxim Series I, intelligent, ingenious, in a world by itself. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.